What is up, tea people? It is tea time once again. Jincha 2-0 from Yang, and looking forward to working on this, getting this opened up. I should zoom out a little bit here. 300 gram 2-0 here. Aroma, really nice. Excited to get in here. Look at that. Beautiful. And do it on the little mushroomy boy. Oh, so nice. So this one apparently is pretty hard pressed, and maybe perhaps a little annoyingly so. It gets a little bit harder to get in there you get farther in there, so definitely can see it. Although, I don't know, not so bad. Let's try not to lose a finger here. Well, make a trip to the hospital. And the problem with these really compressed cakes is that they're, or 2-0s or whatever, is just that they're, oh yeah, little extra something for me. When you know it's authentic is when you're pulling hair out of it. And I mean, that'll definitely be good enough to start for now, but I do want to pull just a bit more off, and bear with me while I do so. We'll go ahead and, heck, that thing is rock solid for sure. So, you ready? We can just be wild. Jeez. Holy Moses. All right, y'all. Yep. So, definitely the kind of like, I don't know what you would call this, crown part? I don't know. Is certainly really compressed. So that'll be fun to get into. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. There's the knife right there. Pulling that through. Funny. Oh. Looks like we're going to be drinking some of that. Here we go again. So yeah, pretty compacted. Let's see though, in here. Definitely can see this has been, this has some stuff growing in it. And yeah, I'd say that that is fairly compacted too. Pull this out here. Gonna get out my handy dandy scale. Actually, I have to clean my table off because some of that got impregnated into my table. What in the world? That ain't right. Let's start by tearing things. Okay. Perfect. Be right back. Onward and upward. So, Name that movie. Give us a good rinse. What's up? Hope everyone's doing awesome today. Shout out to James for helping me get this one. And this has been hanging out in Seattle for quite some time. I actually bought this from James. So, gonna have a little bit of some Seattle storage on it, about maybe 9 years or so, which not. I think the storage taste is certainly going to have been established already. Mm. A little bit higher noted, a little bit more flowers, a little less diesel than the Linga. I don't know how to pronounce everybody. Apologies. And yeah, just because this is so compressed, we will not treat as seriously the first 2 to even 3 steepings of a tea like this, especially a tea where if I was pulling it off of the crown of that tuo there, fairly dark material. For an 07 cake, or tea, excuse me. I'll go ahead and get a close up here of the leaf and the soup color as well. But show it over here on this angle too. So standard over here. So light to start. Cool, very good. All right. Cheers. I did only do one rinse too, so this will be quite a bit later than it's going to end up being. My favorite one of all of them so far by a long shot. Ooh, this is really nice. It already fills up more of that range, the kind of like high to low range for me. Oh, really great sweetness. I like the brightness of this tea in comparison to the Lingya, which was very bassy, not in a bad way. Ooh, nice fruit on the top. Yeah, yum. Boiling the water again. Steeping number 2 here. Cheers. Really sugary sweet. This tastes very iwu to me. Mm. Soft wood. Very clean. Light amount of hay, but nothing too intense. Really no like barn anything. Really much more floral on the guy one as well. Yeah, into this. Now, just sitting here and hanging out and talking, and if you're at home drinking and hanging out with a friend or something like that, there's a lot of time there with that lidded cup, the guy one, to absorb more and more of that moisture, the steam that's still present coming off of the cup right here. All that steam coming off is going to continue to soak into the leaves. So if you're going back to back, especially with the first 2, they're going to be almost identical. But then coming into this third steeping, where I've been yapping at you guys for a couple minutes here, it's going to be fairly different. Excuse me. So already really beautiful sweetness. Already getting quite a bit darker. And I'll go ahead and get a close up on the soup color as well. Yeah, really nice. So it may be hard to see in the cup, but yeah, this is great. Cheers. There it is. there's that base, which it just traverses the range more fluidly, and the base is still really there. Nice bitterness. Yeah, I like this a lot actually. These are nice. You know, it's not. I don't know. None of these are like really blowing my mind, I would say. Maybe now, just if I had to pick something to kind of like comment on, it's just a little bit light in terms of the mouthfeel. The base profile of these teas is kind of it's kind of Shagwan-y to me, but just like elevated and much cleaner. But that kind of like a really nice, strong, bitter base note. I find Dai teas to have much less strength on the base. Maybe 7542 would be, you know, kind of your strongest one. We're getting nice and red now, and as you guys saw me sitting there and hanging out, that was that was a steep for a minute or so. So yeah, quite a bit darker. Not astringent though. That last one was bitter. Yeah, nice. Not too much camphor. Some of the Yang teas I've had have actually, I'd say that most of them have had like a fairly strong camphor note with potentially kind of almost desert sage or menthol cooling thing. This one doesn't have that for me at least, but the base of it's still really strong. But just okay, I think I just have more lively high notes on this one. Really nice. This one's gonna be strong. This one, the steeping rather. So more of a pushing it to evaluate than intending to enjoy drinking. These steepings at this point in a session could be so strong that they can throw off the next couple of steepings that you have. So I kind of recommend taking a break and just having a sip of water at least, or like walking away from the table for 5 minutes and coming back, just getting a little bit of space. Now, the one of the things I'm evaluating at these kind of higher pushing steepings is going to be the Huigan. Just like, it's going to be bitter, I know that, but is it going to come back and be sweet? Is it going to start sweet up front and then kind of fade? What's that sort of character look like in a tea like this? So here we go. Cheers. It's just good, man. I think I always just like the harder ones. I mean, I wouldn't want to have every steeping like this. It's bitter. I wouldn't want every steeping to be like this because it's really strong, but it brings out a lot of the woodiness. These teas aren't super like sappy pine wood, just kind of like a intense, softer noted wood, slightly less terpentine, terpene. Nice. The mouthfeel is there for sure now. Hitting it again. Nice. Intense, but sweet. You know, I think I'm getting a sense of these Yang teas, and I think I like them, but they don't fit into my daily drinking categories as much. I think that the Naka from YangQingHao is probably going to be one of those for me. That will just be kind of more of the like daily drinker style. It's cheaper than this as well, coincidentally. This one just has a lot of specificity, and I think all of these teas do. So I'm going to look forward to potentially having a kind of like comparison episode of different Yang teas to see how they differ from each other. I actually wrapped up I filmed yesterday. I wrapped up yesterday's episode by also having the excuse me. I think after that I had Love Forever Paper Tong, and then after that I have 8584 or sorry 8582, um, and they're just really different. So it was really instructive, really good to do. So I do enjoy following up these episodes with comparison because it helps me really decode what I'm drinking in the cup a bit more easily. And I just think of like the first time I met my friend um, who's become a tea buddy, and you know you are, and his first steeping, he was just kind of like, okay, it's warm, like this is like nice, but I've no like I don't get it at all. Like there's I don't know what you're sitting here talking about all this different stuff or whatever that you're getting here and whatever. And then I'm like, okay, cool, but just compare it to this next different steeping, different tea, and then it's like, okay, yes, now I know what you mean. Now I'm speaking a bit more of that language. So I think comparison, and I talked about it in one of the using kind of episodes in general, that like comparison is a useful tool, and it's really useful in tea. Here we go on the smell test. A bit more hay now. You're a rock star. All right. Sorry. Am I sorry? No, not really. Shout out to millennials. You know who you are. Oh, again, still pretty dark. That last steeping was really strong. I mean, it kind of maybe mouth clenchingly intense and airing on almost an acrid profile. These teas for me still, I think, have time, so which is a great thing because I don't think I'm going to end up drinking these that fast. They're definitely interesting. These are kind of teas that I definitely want to bring out for people who have friends to compare and contrast. But I think again, I'd kind of be looking to reach to these teas maybe like once a week, something like that. Let's say that I'm drinking 2 raws a day, so maybe 2 of 14 sessions on average, something like that. Again, for kind of like the whole boutique. Cheers. Now this one again, it just has more of the high notes that I like. It's really bitter and strong now, but the high fruit that's there, the sweetness that is immediate. Yeah, this is a good one. If I had to pick, this is the one that I would get. You can buy this one on the .com, so check out YangQingHao.com. You get in touch with Emmett ultimately, I believe. And then the Jincha, let me check and see how much this costs. So it's 120 retail for these 2Os, for 300 gram 2O, which I think is reasonable. This is kind of a fancier tea, right? So it's about $2 for the session here, 5 grams exactly, USD. I think at this price point, look, if you're just getting into pu'er, don't buy something like this. Just get samples. Like, just no reason. Especially something where you're trying to test the waters, and maybe your taste might, in fact, probably will change within 24 months, 48 months of kind of getting into it. 48 months is a long time, but nevertheless. So start with samples, but when you kind of get farther along, yeah, I think this is a reasonable price for a beverage, for kind of a fancy experience once that you do once a week, twice a week. This is definitely how I spend money on myself to pamper myself. It's like this, travel, and then like building random weird shit. That's kind of like my favorite stuff to do. This is kind of more of a consumptive thing for me, but still very creative and invigorating and kind of sucking me into my own life. The creativity and like producing things, similar kind of concept as well. And travel is all about just like, beautiful and awesome here. So, yeah, tea is definitely one of my favorite things to spend money on. And hey, tea while traveling, pretty fun. So, final sip here, and I'll leave everybody to their own. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. I don't know how you got this far into this video if you haven't subscribed. Help us get to our 10,000 subscriber goal. And Cheers. You know, the thing that is Iwu for me so much is the softness of the it's the upfront sugary sweetness, and then it's the, even though it's really strong and bassy, and the base flavor is it's like 11 out of 10 in terms of its intensity. It's the actual flavor itself is not nasty, basement, funky. It's not so fermented and sour. It's kind of a bit cleaner. It's not as grassy. It's a bit softer. I love that about these teas. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy this one the rest of the day for sure. Sip on it. Probably compare it again to 8582. It's just kind of my favorite reference tea to compare stuff to. And I'll see, hey, are those high notes really as high as I think they are comparatively? We'll find out a bit more. So let me know in the comments if you want more comparison episodes like that. I do find drinking in isolation to be best for my initial evaluation of teas. Nevertheless, let me know. Peace, y'all.